Well, if you could even imagine it, we're a little cooler than where we started yesterday. Only topped out in the teens. I think we can do better as we get into this afternoon, but it is still dangerously cold as you step outside again. That's why we've got that weather alert day still in effect. But notice what's looming just to our west, some slightly warmer temperatures, and eventually that's going to be headed our direction. We're going to check in, though, down in South Texas. You can see this darker air mass showing up. That's some low clouds, and that's a sign that things are going to be getting a little bit wetter in parts of Texas. Well, that cloud cover is eventually going to march off toward the north as we go forward the rest of today, crossing over that Red River area, getting into Oklahoma, and eventually it's got our name on it as we get into tomorrow morning. Now, as it pushes in those low clouds, again, oftentimes what happens, we can squeeze some drizzle out of that. And notice those temperatures just not all the way back to freezing. They're on their way to it, but if this moves in early enough and with enough moisture, could be looking at some patchy freezing drizzle in some spots. I don't imagine it's going to be enough to cause some issues, but as we get into the afternoon and evening, just some cold showers here. We're back on the right side of freezing in the mid to upper 30s. I think we'll eventually top out in the 40s, so we got a little further to go. As we get into the evening hours, still hanging on to that liquid form. But by Sunday morning, we may move in some colder air back in a little bit sooner than we can move some of that moisture out. So what we might end up seeing is a bit of a transition through all precipitation types throughout this weekend. But in terms of the wintry aspect, we're not too concerned about it as of right now. The windows fairly narrow in the morning, both Saturday and again on Sunday. The light amounts aren't helping either, but that breeze should keep things, again, from really kind of adding up on some of those roadways. Here's a look at just how light it's going to be. In fact, most of us likely under 1/10 of an inch in terms of that precipitation. So not expecting a ton. If it does glaze some of those windshields, that's certainly possible as we get into tomorrow morning. Not expecting any issues, though, by Sunday morning. In fact, most of the day on Sunday is looking dry. A little cooler, though. We're back into the middle 30s as we close out the end of this weekend. Kicking off next week, pretty much in the same boat, but we start warming things up from there, back into the 40s by Tuesday.